latest and greatest here, a Torcup brand pneumatic torque wrench. So uses a planetary reduction set and will torque, the one we got will torque up to 1,000 pounds. And we bought it for rods and mains mostly. Bought these set of sockets to do Cummins ISX heads, and we won't really be filming a economy of segment here because the economy of it is faster. It'll pay for itself in that way, but safer, no injuries or the prevention of injuries. That's the main reason we're doing this. So the 1000 comes in a box. Looks like that. There is a battery version of this called the Volta. We stayed away from it because we're not going to be building engines and things like that outside of the shop. We have used it so far. We haven't done an engine yet since we've had it, but we've used it 3 days last week. Pinion nuts with the reaction arm it comes with, and they make one for yokes. We're probably gonna have to invest in that, but you can get by with this one. We did a big power divider on a wrecker. It was like a 46,000 pound rear end, and the pinion nut was 900 foot-pounds. Did this in one go. No torque wrench, no manual torque wrench, no torque multiplier. Just this, bzzz, done. And the way you check, you calibrate torque, is there is an equation that you dial the input pressure. Get her to the right side here. There we go. You dial the input pressure and it correlates with an output torque. This is a calibrated device. So at 60 psi, you're turning out 1,015 foot-pounds, and at 10 psi, 170. Comes with a regulator device, looks just like that. As you can see, we made photocopies. Didn't want to be losing that. The only calibratable device after it leaves the factory is this gauge. We got to send this gauge out annually, have it calibrated, and this remains a calibrated torque device. Now, Torcup's service has been awesome. I didn't have to leave the shop. Local sales rep came out to me, set me up with everything we needed. He says they have a loaner replacement gauge they send you. There's no downtime. And we bought, to start with, we bought this reaction arm. That was out of stock due to COVID shortages. He sent me his just to have until ours came in. So awesome service out of Torcup from that. So we're going to do a little demonstration, a little comparison today, and see how much time it saves and just how accurate it is. Let's go. Now, as you can see, we got ourselves a demonstrator here set up. C15. The main bolts are 190 foot-pounds plus 120 degrees oil under the heads and threads. Now, a lot of engine manufacturers will state that you can't do the torque angle using an impact due to the shock load that it creates, causing a microfracture in the bolt. Cat says you can. They don't care. Jury's still out on that one. I used to pull them even in chassis, regardless of what it was, religiously by hand, a full 120. And then I turned 30. Started to find that on several of these engines that have been apart a bunch of times, you're getting galling under the threads. Recently had to do one where I had to replace the main bolts just because they were put together so dry the last time that for the sake of demonstration here, we're going to pull the 190 with the Torcup, see how it compares. If we were doing a live build, we're still going to do that by hand so that you're pulling up even on the bearing as you're seating it and not rolling anything out or squishing material in there. There's a lot that can go wrong, and that's where a lot of mains get spun out, and then it's blamed on materials. Set up. Regulated chop bear takes a 1/2 inch line. Critical step, you must set the input pressure with the machine running, so it's flowing pressure. So at 190, looks like 11 input PSI. And you always crank whenever you're doing anything regulatory, you crank up. Well, there you go, we had our first problem. You would think this wouldn't matter how this goes, but this drilling is off-centered, it doesn't fit, so this was in backwards and it's held in with a roll pin. And disassemble that, take it apart and redo it. So this reaction arm uses a secondary bolt. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and torque these two to the 190, mark them, back them off, and then pull them with a torque wrench and see how close they are. To go tighter, it takes more torque to overcome it, to get it moving, so that's not accurate. And to loosen it, measuring, you know, with a tech angle, it's only takes about 2/3 of the install torque to remove a properly installed and lubricated fastener. Hope you see here, we're going to mark the points of this socket. And like the sockets and cups that we bought for other engines have them milled in there. Okay, here we go. And that's all there is to it. One pull until it stalls. Mustang side first. There you go, not a single grunt and groan. Pull the same ones again by hand. Go pretty dang close. Now we're going to go through, and I'm going to hit them all with the 120. We'll knock off the 190. We'll hit them all with the 120. Just see how long it takes. Now we've got them all knocked loose. We're going to go through, bang them all at 190, bang them all to 120, and we're going to see how long it takes. Look at your counter and go. Now we go through and just turn the regulator up to max, 60 psi. We'll have to mark each one. And it'll be 2 flats. I've got these marked at every point, so it's going to be 2. Time. There you go. Now that only could have been, we'll look at the footage a couple minutes. So there you have it. Raptor 1000 pneumatic Torcup wrench for torque angles. Time saved. Yeah, on this job, probably close to an hour. Now, if you're laying on your backside under, say, a Columbia or something with a setback axle, yeah, good chance it's going to be more than that. So, I'll break her all down, get her all put away. Hopefully you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed playing with it. Thanks for watching.